What's up guys? This is part 2 of my Q&A that I started last week. So today's topic for the Q&A is fashion related, fashion industry related, kind of a broad fashion type video. A lot of you guys are asking kind of the same question about how I got started in the fashion industry and what steps I took to get where I was. Instead of answering each question, I'm going to just kind of tell my story and how I got to where I was. First, I will go ahead and answer some of the other questions that I received, and then we'll go ahead and get into the whole, oh my god, my stomach's growling. Can you hear that? First question is my all-time favorite perfume, and I went and got it for you guys so I could show you. My Balenciaga perfume is, focus. My all-time favorite perfume. I do have perfumes that I use for different seasons, but this is my all-time, all year round favorite perfume. I just think it's like daytime, nighttime. This is my scent that I have every single day. I'm 2 squirts away from being out. So don't worry, I've got a backup in my nightstand, ready to get it out at any time. Love this, love this. In fact, unknown. What does that mean? What would I call my fashion style? I really wouldn't call my style anything. Sometimes I'm feeling girly, sometimes edgy, you know, more trendy, basic. So I just kind of wake up and put on whatever I'm in the mood for. I don't really have a certain type of style. I don't know, maybe you guys seeing my style could name my style better than I could because you're kind of on the outside looking in. I don't know. What is your favorite winter piece? Actual favorite winter piece is like a puffy coat because it's so cold here. Low key, that's my favorite winter piece. I honestly think a pretty coat. Stores like Zara and places like that are starting to make really good winter coats. I saw one at Forever 21 the other day. It was gray and it had a faux fur collar and it was so beautiful. I would say a really pretty winter coat is a good staple for the winter time. Next question. What makes you so passionate about fashion and how often do you shop and keep up with the trends? What makes me passionate about fashion, I think, is, you know, for the longest time, I couldn't have cared less about fashion. I was such a tomboy growing up. I think because on my street there were all boys, so I was into like building ramps for my bike and, you know, packing a backpack and going to find bugs and stuff like that. I didn't really get passionate about it until I was in college. In college, I started getting to where I would just find these cool, interesting pieces, things that I couldn't even afford. I would sometimes go into Saks and just wander around, you know, not being able to even afford a stick of perfume, but, you know, just being so intrigued by everything. I just find it so intriguing that people can express themselves through what they wear and what they put together. I think it's just so cool how 10 different people can take one item of clothing and style it, you know, to who they are. How often do you shop and keep up with the trends? I don't go and shop purposely. Like, I don't walk out of the door saying I'm going shopping unless I'm doing a how to style and I need an accessory or something like that. In New York City and walking around all the time, I pass so many stores that I just kind of wander into. But for the most part, I don't really say, okay, tomorrow I'm going shopping. Which leads into the question that I get asked a lot is, where do I get my inspiration from? If I'm interested in buying like a black vest or, you know, a fun sweater, I'll kind of scroll through Pinterest to see how other people are styling it and if it's even worth investing in. Inspiration for me is also looking in my own closets. I have a top or something that I'm like, okay, what am I gonna wear this with? I'll put it on my bed and lay out all my bottoms and just really kind of play with it and see how can we style this? How can we make this look unique? Seeing inspiration in your own closet, you'd be surprised how many cool outfits you can actually find in there. Next question. How do you always stay so positive? I guess I didn't realize I was always so positive. Am I? Thank you, that's so nice. I don't know, being positive just makes me happier. If something negative happens in my life, why would I sit there and be sad or negative about it? That does nobody any good and it just keeps you dwelling on things. You have to just make it a habit in your life. You have to just sit there and think, why am I being negative? It's not getting me anywhere. You have to snap out of that. Anyone I've ever known that has had great success in their business or just in their life is never a negative person. Yeah, of course there are times in your mind you're just like, F you, world. You have to get over that. Have a pity party for 5 minutes and then just get over it. Like, why are you dwelling on things? Don't do that. Being positive is a much more happier life. much more happier. Much more happier. I don't know if that's right. You know what I mean though. My stomach is growling so loud. Laura says that everything in her closet looks the same and she doesn't know how to put some of the pieces together. So what inspires me to change up my wardrobe? If you notice today, I am not wearing black. I am wearing a pink sweater. Sometimes when I'm shopping, I will see something I like, but it's something that I am like I don't know about it. Sometimes I just step out of the box and buy something that's completely out of my comfort zone and then add pieces that are in my comfort zone and make it an outfit. Try when it comes to styling not to have a comfort zone, because I feel like that's when most of my outfits kind of come into play, is when my comfort zone is just like out the door. Every time I would go into a store, make it a point to buy something with print or with color and then mix it with my black, white, and grays. And then you slowly kind of build up to a wardrobe where you can really play with things. It doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately. Next question. Why do I keep singing? Oh my gosh, no. How can I be more fashionable in my job as a lawyer? I feel that there are limitations rather than having like a creative job. I know when you're practicing law and you know, professions like that, you do need to dress a little bit more on the conservative side. So maybe add a really cute, stylish printed top underneath your trousers and your blazer. Maybe something with a bow or a tie, a print, something just to kind of give it a little bit of a flair. You still look sophisticated, but you also have print and a little bit of embellishment, you know, something. And maybe try not to mix the two together. Maybe if you're doing a printed shirt, don't do an embellished type blazer. Just kind of stick with one item on your body to have something fun to it. How I deal with negative comments regarding my weight. I don't really care what people think, but it gets a little annoying to hear it. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I've always been so thin. All my siblings are very thin. It's so frustrating whenever I post a video and someone says she's anorexic. Why would you say that? Like, why would you type that out and hit enter? Like, some people blow my mind. I've learned for the negative comments on YouTube for the most part to just brush them off my shoulders, because there are so many positive people on my channel. For the most part, my subscribers are amazing and so positive and lift each other up. So when that one asshole comes along and, you know, wants to just be an asshole, I just let it roll off my shoulder. That's how I deal with it. I just don't. It goes in one ear and out the other, because what are you gonna do about it, you know? What was your first job ever in the fashion industry? I was a sales associate at Juicy Couture. Yep. Damn, those tracksuits. You guys remember the Juicy Couture tracksuits? Do you ever get the legging butt itch? Absolutely. Nothing worse than an itchy butt when you're wearing leggings and you're in public. What is something you've done that you'd never do again? Oh my gosh. Definitely the wave pool at like Six Flags. Have you guys ever been in those things? I thought I was gonna lose my life that day. No joke. My family was like, it's so fun. You get into the pool and the waves start coming. I almost drowned, you guys. I thought I was gonna die. There's no way you can ever get me back into a wave pool for the rest of my life. No. Do you have any pet peeves? When someone stands too close to me in line behind me, like, no. Do not stand, like, there should be this much space between us in line. If I can feel you breathing or if I can hear you breathing, you're too close. When you're practically standing beside me, you're too close. I can hear you chewing your gum, you're too close. Have you ever been super broke? What did you do? Or what was the lowest point of your life and how did you overcome it? Yes, I was a college student and I was super broke. I remember my dad gave me a credit card, and oh boy, did I, you know, not use that for emergencies. I'm like, shoes are an emergency, okay? All through college, and then even right out of college, you know, I was just starting in like retail, and like I didn't have any money, and any money I did have, I spent it all. The lowest point in my life was probably, oh my gosh, there was one point where when I was living in San Antonio, Brian and I, you know, were living together, and I just like hated my job. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was just at a point where I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? I was stuck. I was in a place where I was pitying myself instead of doing something about it, I sat there and I would cry and I would bitch to Ryan, and I was just a miserable human being. There finally a time came in my head and it clicked, and I was like, I need a change. I need to make a huge change in my life, and I don't mean a small change. I need to change my attitude. I need to change my career. I need to change my location. I needed a whole life change. Closed the door on my pity party. We moved to New York and started a whole new life, and here I am now. And thank you for that question. That was a really good, deep, personal question, which I don't mind answering because I'm sure there's someone out there right now that was me at that point a few years ago. So do something about it. You'll thank yourself later, trust me. You had to choose between Smart Water being taken away forever or coconut milk. Which would you live without? Oh, just thinking about that gives me anxiety. What is your favorite type of food and favorite date night place to go to? I don't know. I love all food equally as much as the other. My favorite date night place to go to, oh my gosh, there are the cutest little restaurants in West Village. One of them is called Bell Book and Candle. Underground, it's like dark, the music's good, it's like really romantic and cozy. If I want something a little bit louder and whatnot, then we usually go to Fig and Olive in Meatpacking. Love the ambiance there. It's dark, it's also romantic, but it's a little bit bigger, more people. Either or, I just love food. What can you do to show your employers that you're cut out for the fashion industry while you're not studying fashion? I think the best thing you can do is have like a killer outfit when you go into an interview. No matter what your resume says on paper, like dress yourself to the T, then that is so important. Not a typical like, you know, wear a suit type interview. You know, you need to put a little bit of style into your interview outfit. Showing them that you have that is really step number one in impressing an employer when you're going into an interview. This is where I will do the second part of the Q&A, just kind of going over how I got into the fashion industry. And I went to college. I still had no clue what I wanted to do. Didn't care even through my first couple of years in college. I was majoring in kinesiology, which is the study of health and fitness, and I wanted to be a physical therapist. I didn't have any girlfriends in my classes because the girls basically, I just couldn't relate to them. They always would make fun of me for, you know, wearing different clothes. Like I would come to school kind of dressed, you know, not in like workout gear. I would wear like a cute top and a cute pair of jeans, and I don't know, that's just what I wore. So I just couldn't relate to them, and obviously they couldn't relate to me. I realized my senior year in college, like I don't want to be a physical therapist. Like nothing bores me more than that as a career path. That's just what I thought I wanted to do. That's what seemed right. I felt like I was taking the right steps, but I wanted a career in fashion and I didn't know what I wanted to do or how I was gonna get there. Graduated college, worked at a boutique kind of doing really just a little bit of everything, you know, from visual merchandising to kind of like operations, and I just wasn't making any money. I wasn't happy. That was the time, you know, where I was at like a low point, not knowing what I wanted to do and knowing that I wanted to work in fashion, but not knowing exactly what I wanted to do. Ryan could tell that I wasn't in a good place, so he, that's good, like, we like this. We decided we were gonna move back to New York. Wanted to work in fashion still, like wanted to be in visual merchandising, not sure how to do it. I was applying to every position I could find online. I applied to probably over 100 jobs and never got one call back. I started finding jobs that I really wanted on LinkedIn, and instead of applying through the website, I just did some major stalking, found the HR people from the companies. I wanted to work for a company like Intermix because they carry so many great designers. So I found a bunch of people in HR that work for Intermix on LinkedIn and just directly messaged them, and immediately got responses back, and immediately got an interview, and then immediately got hired. The process, it's almost like a shortcut. Instead of applying on their website, I just went straight to the source and was like, hey, I'm interested in working for this company, here's my resume, let's set up a time to talk. They don't respond, then I just stalk them until they respond to me. Eventually, someone reached back out to me and they were like, thank you so much for sending me a message directly. It was in the final stages of interviewing when I moved to New York, so that was kind of risky, not having a job when I moved. But then I ended up getting hired like a week later, just because the interview process is so long. Worked for Intermix for a while doing visual merchandising, absolutely loved it, but for you guys who are wanting to go into visual merchandising, just know that it is not like a glamorous job at all. You're in comfortable clothes, you're usually like there at 7 a.m., early mornings, sometimes till 10 o'clock at night, late nights. It's a fun creative job, but it's also very like labor intensive. Don't necessarily have to have a fashion degree to get into fashion, to get into the fashion industry. It looks great on a resume, but it's not necessary at all. I have no degree in fashion whatsoever, but I had experience on my resume, so that helped me out. I started my YouTube channel while I was at Intermix, and you know, the hours were just kind of crazy. So I was like, I need something Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, so I can film on the weekends with Ryan. That's when I started working for Alice and Olivia, which was actually like not even maybe 2 months ago. I was the corporate store operations manager. My schedule was getting a little insane. So that's when I decided to make the move of quitting my job and doing YouTube full time. I love answering these fashion industry questions because I truly believe that, you know, you can have what you go after and what you work hard for, but you do have to start at the bottom. I think so many people think that they can just jump into a high paying, high fashion job, but you know, you really need to start out as doing retail or an internship. I think those two paths, you know, that's where you need to start. Internship, working retail, and just kind of work your way up. The pay is terrible starting out, you know, you have to do like bitch work, but it pays off if you can truly like tough it out. Do some online digging of what you think, you know, you would fit best into. There's buying, planning, visual merchandising, PR, HR, like there's just, you know, there's design, there's, gosh, like so many different areas that you can go into. It's kind of aside from everything, some tips for getting into the fashion industry. Dress the part. You know, even if you're on a budget, there are stores like Forever 21 and H&M. I, as a college student, had no money, so I went to Forever 21, got an outfit for under $50, and I ran that outfit through 6 or 7 interviews. Like, no shame in that. Like, do what you gotta do. Killer outfit. Number 2, take chances, reach out to people. Don't just sit there and apply online and think that things are gonna be handed to you. They're not. You need to get on LinkedIn and you need to send everyone you can a message. Find store managers of places that you wanna work for. Find HR, find recruiters. Like, you just constantly send people messages on LinkedIn until you get an interview, until you get what you want. All right, so that is it. And if you guys want to sign up for my Life by Her lookbook, which you definitely should, again, it's a month's worth of outfit inspiration, photos, videos. We have a private Facebook group, so come join us. But you can't get into the Facebook group unless you have the lookbook. So if you don't have the lookbook and you're trying to get into the Facebook group, that's why. So those two things kind of tie in hand in hand. Well, that is it for this fashion edition Q&A. This was fun. I really like shared some shit with you guys. Like, I hope you loved it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hi guys, this is Taylor. Hi. Taylor is probably one of the best friends that I've ever had in my whole life. She's such an amazing person and she's here to stay with us for the weekend. Yay. We had such a crazy night last night. We stayed in and had wine and sandwiches.
Had girl talk.
And girl talk, that retirement home life.
Poor Ryan.
I know.